Hello, my name is Abe Clancy, and welcome back to Monster Train. Hopefully we can have a run today that is not just the Melting Remnant and Stygian Guard. We've had a couple of good runs, don't get me wrong, but I would love something that's not Reform and Spell Weakness with spells I'm not taking, please. Let's depart, because I should have done this ahead of time before I turned on the recording, but it's just water, it's nothing else. Just refilling my glass. So it's still Stygian, but at least we have Awoken to go along with it. Good combination. You know, what do I like about Awoken Stygian? Good incant synergy between healing, which usually requires a spell, and then also getting a buff when you play that spell. 2 Glimmers is beautiful, 2 Flash Freezes is great, and Ensnare, lovely. Buff debuff Seraph, annoying. We are the Awoken champion. I will still go Spikes for buff debuff Seraph. Armor Fell, Days on Strike Talos. I much prefer this version of Talos as opposed to the version of Talos that knocks back enemies. At least, you know, if we still have a Spike champion, who cares if they get dazed? So a really good start to the run so far. Our relic, dude, a sting every turn is so unbelievably great. Now we actually do not have a Spikes champion. We have Rejuvenate damage and Cultivation. What would we like? Rejuvenate champion is good damage. Cultivation is good scaling, especially on units behind your champion. The damage from the Rejuvenate champion is going to be a lot better for a lot longer, but the Cultivating champion is a great tank, and you get more draw every turn, and we're going to have a lot of draw thanks to the stings anyways. So I am leaning towards Cultivating and trying to make this work, even though I do like explosives doing damage. It also means that we're not building something that's going to be removed by Seraph, which I think, could be smart. Obviously, we're looking for multi-strike Animus to be put right behind our champion. I think we can make this run work, though. I absolutely think we can make this run work. Now, we would like the Sentient to be attacked every turn, which means the Glimmer might not be the best play. We want to play the Sentient, we want to play a Train Steward, I think we want to play a Sting, and now the Sentient is gaining stats on the Train Steward, which means that we're going to be a little bit more likely to kill this guy later on. I will wipe, maybe I won't wipe this floor. I mean, the chance that we get a spell to kill a unit next turn is really high. I think what you want to do is like Frozen Lance, Glimmer. We'll start working down this Apprentice, because we want the champion to get hit. I should have paid more attention. 1 unit made it through. It's my bad. Oh, you know what? I played the champion. I noticed that one enemy had an X, and in my head I said, okay, play a Train Steward, they're both dead. The champion buffed its own attack. Now we only have 1 unit attacking on the floor. I'm a big dummy, but that's okay. Glimmer does get us the gold. I do have to play a Sting, a Frozen Lance, and a Frozen Lance to kill the Collector, but if I do that, well, we're not gonna be attacked anyways. We could play a Sting, a Frozen Lance, and an Ensnare to keep the Collector here, and then the Collector is gonna die to the Train Steward, but how are we killing this guy next turn? We need to play spells on him, like Sting. So I think we just Glimmer, and then I think we work on this fool. I think we Ensnare you to buy us more time to kill you. The Pyre might take a little hit on occasion, and I don't really mind that. Actually, you're dead. You're dead. You're gonna be wounded. The spells are carrying us because our Cultivation champion might not be the best. But the spells are definitely taking us where we need it to be. 7, so you're gonna take an extra 13 damage and then 8. So you're gonna die and you're gonna give us a Cultivation. We're gonna wipe you. We're gonna work you down. We want our champion to get hit a lot, which is weird. Because if your champion is getting hit a lot, then you're probably not taking things like sweepers. You're not taking a quick sweeper because you don't want to kill things before they hit your champion. You're not taking other spike tanks to go out in front of your champion. You would want your champion to be the thing with the spike tank. So it's weird, and I haven't really quite figured out how I want to build this champion yet, but what I'm thinking is maybe give her spikes after this, and then we can have spikes and the cultivation and the draw. We just won't have the explosive damage, but hey, we have a restoration detonation, which is explosive damage now. I don't know. I don't know. What do I like here? High damage from the crit builder is nice, but we have a bunch of weak spells, which I think kind of fulfill a similar purpose of doing damage to enemies on as they go up to the pyre. Restoration detonation is the big spell that we have, but crit builder we can make cheap, and then, well, we can take it, go to an awoken unit, and then also a merchant of magic to make it cheaper. And then if we get a very good awoken banner, maybe we can go to a hellvent and duplicate it, or we can go for another awoken unit and then concealed caverns, then go from there. I like it. So I will take a crit builder. Making it cost -2 is a good use of our resources. I will go awoken unit as well. We're gonna see what we get. Permafrost. Permafrost on an offering card is pretty good. So again, like, do we need a sweep? Because if we take a sweep, if we make it quick, and it kills things before they attack the champion, then we're not getting the cultivation buff. Granted, the champion will live. You know, in all likelihood, because the champion actually does need to, you know, avoid a whole bunch of damage that they're otherwise gonna take. Husk Hermit's tempting. It's a sweeper. You know, with stat gain, this can actually do quite a lot of damage. With cultivation, I'm thinking. Thorn Hollow's a good unit too, but we really do not need a tank. We do not want a tank. I think I'll take the Husk Hermit, just so I have a unit to place behind the champion, really. We're not gonna do any melding though. +10 magic power and piercing, I really like that on a Glimmer, but I also really like that on a restoration detonation, because that'll wipe a lot of units. The Glimmer still needs magic power for it to really start to be out of control. We're not gonna give anything permafrost. I think we will make crit builder basically free. Make a good restore. Holdover. See, and now I was actually thinking about this. A holdover Glimmer or holdover restoration detonation is good damage and good healing. 20 health that also does 100 piercing damage every turn is a great card, especially in our champion who's gonna get hit a lot. We could also put it on a Glimmer for AoE, but 12 damage is not enough to kill a lot of the really strong units that hit multiple times. So I think just a restoration detonation is what I'm looking for here. Can I also say it's a very good target for duplicating? Don't want it. So crit builder is now going to be free. Have another restore consume. We don't need restores now that we have significantly better restores. In the form of, well, we only have one of them, but in the form of restoration detonation. Spike's not a big problem. Honestly, if our champion attacks, then the champion might be able to actually gain even more stats themselves, in theory. They are gonna haste up to the top floor. I think we accept the haste so that they can become weaker. And yes, I am wiping a few of them just because why not? So, we will sting. I think we'll wipe you, and we'll wipe you. 2 units making it up I think is totally fine, because we want to get hit. We're not really doing much with our time, but we're doing something. Man, I wish that cultivation was attached to a regen. I'm gonna be looking for a rejuvenate cultivation awoken hollow. And then if we can have an animus and then 3 units on the same floor, we'll be so happy. So we are gonna glimmer. We're going to hold this over. You, I want to hit me. You, I can just smack a whole bunch. I mean, you're taking 25 damage to 2 train stewards and a little bit of frostbite. Really not much else I can do but that. Again, I want you to hit me, so I'm gonna... Oh, I can't play it on you. You know, here's what we're gonna do. Train steward, restoration detonation, sting, frozen lance. That's the ideal scenario there, I think. Now you're not dead. Now you're dead. Also, that's 6. Yeah, we'll hit you. Now we're not even taking that much damage. I mean, we're not starting very strong, but our spells are dynamite right now, and these stings are fantastic. Sharpen, if we can add spikes to our champion, will love life. I don't think we need any more of these, although an energy siphon for spell weakness means that then your restoration detonation can do massive damage, but it already does massive damage. Now we're talking. Now, I don't think we have anything worth Hellvent or worth duplicating except for restoration detonation. I would much rather grab another awoken unit and see what we get. Ascend or descend also apply days, or if you have money, lose money instead of taking fire damage. I'll take the days, even though we don't have a card. We get the animus, which is exactly what we want. Purge, petty theft. Your pyre gets more attack. Give me purge for money. Do we take money? Because we're going to a merchant of steel, I think we probably will grab some extra gold, just to make sure we can afford everything. 30 pack shards is not a lot, but it's not a small amount of money. It's that ideal amount of money where it's like, well, I guess I can make something work with this. We're gonna play the Sentient, we're gonna play the Animus. We're gonna gain 80 gold. I will hit you. With our Animus there, we don't really need to worry about damage anymore. Now, we want enemies to make it up and hit the Sentient. The question is, do you even play the Husk Hermit in that case? Husk Hermit might be a unit that we just want to purge out of the deck. Because if the Clergyman hits, we want Sharpen. If it hits, we only need to kill one of them to wipe the whole floor. And we're gonna get a Sting next turn. So we probably Sting down here to work down this guy. Yeah, do something like this. Kill the Train Steward, make you weaker. We want the Animus to be cultivated constantly. This floor is gonna suck, but now we have Restoration Detonation. We're not killing one unit, boom, now we're killing all of them. And now that we have the Restoration Detonation, I don't care how much damage the Sentient tanks. They're there to tank. That's their job at this point. Do a lot of damage. These guys I just need to kill because, I mean, they have a lot of health. And I really want to hit this frontline unit with the Restoration Detonation, of course. So we want to hold it for next turn, so we'll just play it on... Well, Sharpen is also very good, but I also want to kill you, but we're going to get a Sting next turn. We can kill you anyways with a Sting now! Perfect. You're going to haste up to the front, but now with the spikes, it doesn't matter. You're dead. Also, taking 49 damage. I mean, I love the idea of do 13 times 5, do 65 damage, then 10, Then crit, then you're all dead? If you're all dead, I don't want to crit builder you, even though I know I could. So what am I gonna do instead? Flash freeze the boss. Consume a heal. The cultivation is starting to shine. Our unit still, our animus still doesn't really do a ton of damage, but they're getting there. And if we duplicate the animus, let me look at the map. Can't, but in theory we could duplicate the animus and then meld the animus into the animus so we get another stack of multi-strike, which would be kind of interesting. We would have to do it here at the final divine temple of the game, so I don't know if we're gonna do that. We need to go to a Merchant of Steel though. We have to. Okay, so what's going on here? I think I will heal you. Maybe we should have played the Husk Hermit, but can we even kill this boss? I mean, we're actually not really doing that much damage, honestly. I think we probably want to just buff our animus. Flash freeze is also tempting there. You're taking 530. I mean, you're dead off of stings, which is good because that's very close. I mean, we almost died because cultivation, admittedly, is not strong early, unless you have a multi-striker behind him. And now we do have a multi-striker, but it's still not good early. Cycle of Life I like. It's another way of applying spikes to our champion. Siren of the Sea. Now that's a unit meld. Incant gaining +1/+1 in a Siren. Then we're scaling off of not only being hit, but also playing spells, and it's an... Yeah. A Siren in the Animus is pretty decent. In 15 spells, we get the same value out of a Thorn Hollow. We have enough card draw, I think. We'll take energy. We don't really need capacity too much right now. And we're gonna go for a Merchant of Steel. Kinda have to. We get a multi-strike. Another multi-strike on the Animus seems beautiful. And if we get a large stone, that would be amazing. We don't really want quick, although I'll still probably take it. But we also just really want to engage Pact. But we'll start with the upgrade and see what we reroll into. No, we wanna multi-strike the Animus, please. We could give the Animus health. We could also give the Husk Hermit health and make them a quick. I might keep the Husk Hermit is the thing. The Animus we're gonna reroll and see what we get, but because I might keep the Husk Hermit, especially if we get like a large stone or a quick or something. I mean, okay, where do the upgrades go? We're gonna get either endless, quick, or large. Quick. Don't need quick on the Animus if we have a tank. Large stone goes on the Animus. Quick can go on the Husk Hermit. Endless goes on nobody. Large stone goes on the Animus. That's a good upgrade, because now the Animus can survive a sweep, also starts a little bit stronger, still fits behind the champion. Now we didn't get quick, which would have been nice, but this is fine. Sack the Siren, dump into an Animus, slap into a Slim Jim. Spell Chain, not that interested. Purge -1, not that interested. Removal, definitely Train Stewards. Cultivation or spikes? We have a couple of spikes generating cards, so I think we go cultivation. It's more health as well. And our Animus going right behind the champion means we just want to buff the champion as much as possible. Do we even want a Husk Hermit anymore? I think the answer is no. I don't think we want a sweeper. So I'm actually gonna purge the card to get it out of the deck. And now we just have 2 Train Stewards. We have an Animus that we can duplicate if we want, especially if we draw a Descend into this deck later. So we're gonna go another Divine Temple. I'd like to go to the Merchant of Steel to go to the caverns, but we'll see. Hellvent, if we want a duplicator, probably a... That's another concealed caverns along with a Merchant of Steel. Merchant of Magic, and then duplicator with a Merchant of Steel. The duplicates are in very poor positions. We're not gonna buff a Train Steward, we're gonna purge a Train Steward. What's coming up next? I mean, the real question is, am I gonna spend money? Because if I'm not gonna spend money, I can remove a card right now. If we go to the Merchant of Magic, what are we looking for? Better Glimmers, but we already have a Restoration Detonation. Cheaper Sharpen, but we're already gonna play it anyways with 4 energy and the extra card draw. So we'll probably go Artifact Concealed Caverns. So why don't we get rid of another Train Steward right now? And, you know, if we change our minds, we change our minds. +6. Non-boss enemy units get +6. That means they're gonna hit really hard, but I feel like our damage and our spells and our units can sustain this. We do kind of need to start at the bottom, though, in order to kill these units before they add garbage to my deck, so we're just gonna start down here. Every incant, every hit is a buff on the Animus. We got buffs coming out the you-know-what. I like drawing that early. I really like drawing that early. I also really like the fact that with the Cycle of Life, we actually do kill the Spiker, too. Smack him, they're all dead. We could sharpen the Sentient to maybe kill this 5 health unit, or we could buff the damage of the Animus. Let's sharpen. Yeah, this is going very well right now. It's not perfect, not in the least, but you know, we have 200 damage on the bottom floor. Didn't take that long to get here. We're playing a lot of spells and a lot of stings, so we're getting a very good amount of value out of the incant. These guys are dying very quickly. Okay, we had a 240 damage per turn Animus. And if we can build 1 floor with 2 Animuses, we're not doubling our damage, but we're coming close to it, and there's our Restoring Retreat to make that possible. Yeah. Sap, discard, incant armor, consume frostbite. I actually feel like we could take a Crystalline Seeds and it wouldn't really change things too much. It's a free incant that can also do a little bit of passive damage, especially if you draw it early. So I'm really just kind of taking the card to gild it, unfortunately, but I think that's okay. Now we do want a duplicator. There's a duplicator and a removal coming up. So I think we go here to duplicate and remove. Then I think we go to the Merchant of Magic and then possibly another Merchant of Magic. For now, I want to go left, get a relic. I don't think we need to upgrade spells, although making them cheaper would be very good. We'd go right, then left, then right again. But I want to see if we can grab an upgrade. Enemy units get -1. That's not huge, but it is something. Hellhorned Melting Umbra Draft Pick. And it kind of blows. Hellhorned Melting or Umbra Draft Pick. I gotta look at this one. What's a good rare Umbra? Wretch. Furnace Tap. Umbra Stone. Blazing Bolts. Forever Consumed. Kindle. Shroud Spike. What's a good melting draft? Hallowed Halls. Wickless Recruitment. Sacrificial Resurrection. Remnant Pact for Endless would be kind of interesting to bring back the champion with. I don't know if you can get this out of this event right now, but Remnant Pact is pretty good. And then what was the other one? Hellhorned? Armor. Rage. Impalate. I don't know if you can get a One-Horn's Tome, although that would be very funny. Probably not what you want, though. I guess we'll go melting and see if we can get the book. Yeah. I'll take it, but it's not actually that good because in order to put the Sentient on the same floor as our Animuses, we have to descend it and then pull it, but we don't have a pull. But, you know, it's a good spell. It's a good card to just have, I think. I don't know how I feel about that, though. Get a card cost -2 and have Intrinsic. We don't want Intrinsic on the Descend. Intrinsic on Sharpen could be interesting, but -2 on Cycle of Life I think is pretty good. Makes it way more playable when it shows up. And Holdover on that is now pretty sick, if we can get it. We got a lot of money. We also do have Quick. With this amount of gold, I am interested in maybe purging a card, especially considering that we're not gonna spend money down here, so maybe we should do some purging. Remove a Train Steward, and now it's getting a little expensive. Enemy units appear on each floor. That's not a problem. We will just play on the top floor. Life, Steal, Sweep. Sweep's annoying. This is one of the easier trials to do. You just play on the top floor and then you play all your spells and everything dies. Cultivation is 2 and Incant is 1. Playing a Sting doesn't cost us much. What's weird is like Flash Freeze on our champion is actually not a bad idea, because once we get our heals, we can out-heal the damage and we're still getting Incants every turn. So there's your big brain play for the day. Flash freezing your own unit to get a cheap cultivation every single turn. Smart or terrible, I'll let you decide. They're all gonna die to the spikes. We're currently doing 140 damage. It's not quite enough to kill you, but it will get there. I like that. I think we ensnare you. If you're at the back, I don't really care if you hit the pyre for 2 damage per spike. And actually, you being on a floor of Silent Marksman is freaking beautiful. Thank you. I will play this. I will. We don't need to sharpen the champion. We'd rather buff the Animus at this point. Crystalline Seeds, hey, it can be played. Sting. Endless. Endless, it doesn't seem that important at all, but just in case the champion dies, it is a good thing to have, I think. Damage has gone up quite considerably over a couple of turns. We're getting a lot of Incants. We're currently doing 280 damage per turn, basically. And we have 87 HP, like nothing's gonna make it past us. At this point, just to play more spells, I'll do it like this. You're gonna hit my champion and die. I'd still rather kill you early. Should have done it with maybe a Glimmer, but that's fine. I think we'll just hold that for next turn. Just don't accidentally play like a Restoring Retreat. That would suck. I mean, I don't think it would kill us. It would just suck a little bit. All right, so a 400 damage per turn Animus. That's not bad, but consider that we had a recent run where we were doing like 3,500 damage per turn with a multi-strike Eel Gorgon. That was a lot of fun. -2 next turn, +1 energy. Energy is not a problem. Card draw is also not a problem, but we also don't really need Pyre Grow. We like the draw that we have, and if we upgrade spells and make them cheaper, we'll be able to play everything. So energy doesn't seem to matter right now. Silenced enemy units, it is really nice to have. It's an incant, it's a free spell, and it's a good spell. Titan's Tooth is also very tempting. Oh, I gotta remember we have days. Titan's Tooth is also very tempting. But, you know, we can just upgrade Glimmers, I guess, is what I'm thinking. I always like having one Silence. We're gonna go to the left. We have so much money. Units get an extra upgrade slot. Randomize costs. Friendly units get +5. Units getting an extra upgrade slot I think is fine. We can go here to the Merchant of Steel at the very end to duplicate, and then we can also get one more upgrade and then a duplicator. We want to duplicate our Animus for the end, although we're gonna duplicate them now. Well, we can just get 2 upgrades here, and then maybe a Hellvent on maybe the big heal. Yeah, actually, I kind of like that. Volatile Gauge is also very tempting, but once we start shuffling, these stings are going to be unplayable. So I don't think we want that. We want to be able to play Restoration Detonation. So we'll go for the extra upgrade slot, even though it's not a 10 out of 10 right now. We'll dump the Frozen Lances, of course. We'll duplicate. I mean, so here's the question. We could duplicate an Animus, or we could duplicate it at the end after we upgrade it if we like the upgrade, if it's quick, or multi-strike. So I think we'll dupe the Restoration Detonation immediately because I think that's actually a much more important card. I don't really care right now for having 2 Animuses because we're hitting 400 damage per turn. What I care about is making sure we get the heals shuffling over and over and over again. That seems way more important. All right, well, this isn't gonna work. We sharpen you initially. Sharpen's gonna suck on the buff debuff Seraph, but as long as we play a couple of them every couple of turns, we'll be fine. We'll be happy. So Restoring Retreat will daze for 2 turns. There's nothing to daze, so let's not worry about it. What I will do is just buff. We're gonna do the same thing we did last time. We're gonna hurt our Sentient with the Frostbite, which I think is a good strategy. I really do. It's not that much damage, but it's multiple turns of taking additional hits. We'll get that on holdover. You're still gonna live. You're still gonna live. You're still gonna live. Now you're endless. With one champion, if he dies, we can just bring him back. He's not gonna die. Ooh! I mean, I'd rather not play the Frozen Lance, so I will just play a Restore. Just did 200 damage to the boss. Still had a lot of armor, which is annoying, but... Five Frostbite. I don't want to stack up another Restoring Retreat. We can probably stack it up on the boss. The Frostbite, that is. You have full health, no one here has spikes. We're doing just enough damage right now. That's good. Be a play. You just keep playing everything, basically. So we're at 280 damage on our Animus. I was gonna say we should get sharpened pretty soon, so we can buff her damage a little bit more. We're not killing everything, but you would think that Restoring Retreat gets us there. Gets you so close. You're gonna have 1 HP. Now you're dead. It took a minute. Maybe we could utilize, you know, more damage. Oh, wait a minute, we'll do that later. It's gonna be another Animus. We're almost to 400 damage. I'm just gonna put the Frostbite on you. It's an extra 20 damage per turn. The build we have right now it works, but we would not be able to survive like 150, 180 pack shards at this point. I think that the enemies would have too much health, and the Animus is not quite doing enough damage to kill them all because we don't have trample. You know, we're overkilling enemies at this point by hundreds, almost 100 damage in some situations, so we can't kill as many units as we would like. So now the Animus is buffing themselves, but you're dead. We did 400 damage per turn at the end there. That's beautiful. Full heal or channel song or spreading spores. I don't think we need the regen. We have big heals. We don't really want Unleash the Wildwood again because we have big heals. We just want to bring the Restoration Detonation back. If we get 2 of these per turn, that is 40 healing and other healing from restores, so that's pretty good. Some late fights do deal like almost 100 damage per turn, so 1 Unleash the Wildwood is not a bad idea. A channel song I like for hitting the Animus, but we're probably not going to draw channel song. We're gonna draw the Animus and we're gonna play the Animus. You know, channel song, it's such a weird card because it's anti-synergistic with the mechanic of banner units. You draw your banner units early in combat. I'd have to discard an Animus and then wait for the channel song, which we could do, but then we run into the problem of, okay, I need to permafrost Restoring Retreat so that I can play it after I build the second Animus with channel song? It's also only plus 20. It's good though. Unleash the Wildwood on holdover, yes, but on permafrost is also pretty good. But we would really just want a permafrost Restoring Retreat, I think, so we can build 1 floor. We could just play it if it shows up. An intrinsic channel song is not a bad idea. Take it. We don't need capacity. We don't need draw. We don't really need energy though. Maybe we do go draw. Draw. I mean, we're gonna be upgrading spells here, and we want to get to the good spells. So we already have 6 draw, which is actually 7, which is actually 8 draw per turn, thanks to the Sting after turn 1, the Champion, and the additional not Iron Drop Gauge. Oh no, we never took a card draw. You know what? I will take a card draw then. Convinced myself. We need to upgrade spells. Damage unit when it enters your train. That's fine. If it costs us a little bit of cultivation, I don't really care too much. We'll remove Frozen Lances. The heals are at least heals. Frozen Lances are garbage. Holdover. Money. I mean, a holdover Restoring Retreat is 2 days every turn, plus as soon as we draw this, we use it as a heal on the Champion, and also we can play our Animus as soon as we want. It's actually it's a pretty good get. Holdover Sharpen is also good, Holdover Ensnare is also good, Holdover Cycle of Life is also good, but I think you want that Restoring Retreat, because as soon as you draw it, you have it. You can use it as a daze, which means we can stack up days on bosses, which is kind of funny. We might be able to get it -2. But I think I'm just gonna make it cost 1. Magic Power and Piercing. Let me get a good Glimmer. Double stack. Cycle of Life, Spike 6. That's not worth a double stack. Root 2 might be, but I really want to make my spells cheaper. So Cycle of Life free is pretty good. Sharpen 1 is also very good. I mean, if a card costs 2, I might not be able to play it. If it costs 1, I'm almost always going to be able to play it. I think we're just going to go big cultivation on this one. We like the cultivation synergy. We like the fact that we can play Animuses. Unfortunately, we do have to go to the Merchant of Steel, but fortunately, we have Pyrestone Housing. We'll do something at the temple to get the 10 remaining pack. Actually, we're gonna duplicate a unit, so we're gonna get the remaining pack shards. No reason to take the money then. Spell shield 2, not a problem. I do have big piercing spells, so that should be an easy thing to handle. The big problem is the fact that we don't actually do enough damage to the Gilded Wing to kill it. So we can accept garbage in order to buff the Animuses on the top floor for a little bit. By buff, what I really mean is try to draw into a cycle of life and play some spells to make her stronger before units move up, which actually think I'm gonna do. We need to stall for a minute. That'll kill you in a turn. I think we'll just do this. Our deck is gonna suffer heavily, but we have energy. It's not a huge deal. Crit Builder is also something I was interested in to do knockback. Like, just push you back, now I don't have to deal with you. We want 1 Restoring Retreat per turn. We'll dump this. We can ensnare Snumbuddy. This will play that, we'll play this, and I should not have ensnared you. That was I'm not gonna say it's a misclick, because I clicked, but we should not have ensnared you. That was a terrible idea. Well, it's gonna be a lot harder to deal with you now, won't it? Yeah, our Pyre is gonna take a freaking beating because of that mistake. Did I already play Restoration Detonation? I did. So I think we want to play Sharpen. Yeah, that was a huge misclick. If you can even call it that. Now we can keep you descended and minorly dealt with for several turns. In fact, we can keep you dealt with basically forever. Well, not actually, but maybe. You guys are still gonna hit the Pyre, not by much. If I play 1 spell, the front unit dies. We gotta save the Unnamed Tome. Oh, you only got hit for 5. So you're gonna die, you're not gonna die. We're gonna get garbage out of the deck. You're gonna hit the Pyre for 8. And you're gonna hit it for 0. I think that's fine. Dude, one misclick. Now we have 290 damage on the field that I just can't deal with for a long time. At least you're dead now. Yeah, the Pyre's gonna take some hits. We just have to do what we can. I can't let you live to hit the Pyre like 6 times. I can't. I have to descend you, which means you're gonna hit the Pyre. I kind of want to restart this combat, but I'm not going to because I think that, you know, it's just completely my fault and I have to live with my own mistakes. I mean, the Pyre's gonna take a huge hit here. Like, this was just my bad. My bad. We're also not killing you. And it's entirely because I just misclicked and I rooted this guy for a turn. However, we are kind of getting ahead of the problem now. Yeah, I really just want to restart the combat because of that misclick. I think we're not taking any more Pyre damage, though. Should have played this differently. Got 34 HP. I mean, you're dead. There was never any worry that you wouldn't die. The worry is I took about 80 pyre damage I didn't need to take. But, you know, it is what it is. Well, I mean, now we just gotta work around it. Just don't get hit forehead. Another restoring retreat. Add 3 stings, draw 1 each turn. You know, I'm gonna say no. Sap, spell weakness. Urchin Spines is actually pretty good with the Restoration Detonation. You can do a lot of damage with that, but Restoration Detonation is minorly important, not majorly important. +1 damage per I got spikes. Silence, also pretty okay. +10 magic power and piercing. Not interested, -2. Not interested. Possibly good, but multi-strike. You know, what's interesting is I kind of want to reroll and find either a large stone or a quick. A quick would be really handy. Do we think we can keep our champion alive? Probably. You know, kind of helps solves the damage problem, doesn't it? Now we have 2 great animuses. +1 damage per spikes. That's not gonna matter that much. I think we'll silence. I think we'll vapor funnel. Sting's getting good. Sting's getting magic power and piercing is pretty nice. Damage when they move between floors is also good, but let's make the stings better because we get 1 per turn. We can't really purge any other cards, so we are done. Sure. That's not bad. We've added a lot of garbage to the deck, namely the, like, channel song. We've really got to draw that at the right moment for it to be valuable, but we've got some good stuff here, too. I mean, I do really like this turn. You can die to a sting. Everything's dying, make sure that holds over. Now all we need is Channel Song. Well, we're not gonna draw Channel Song because of the Animus. We could wait for Channel Song. Since we didn't draw it on this turn. That's interesting. Flash Freeze our champion, I think. Doing 55 damage to the boss, not too bad. So I have decided to wait for the Channel Song. Might not be the best idea. I haven't drawn it yet. I think things are fine though. We're going to restore. I'd love to Crypt Builder then Restoration Detonation, but we did get hit by an Ember Drain. I could Cycle of Life to kill the back line, or Glimmer to kill the back line. Or just another Restoration Detonation, which will kill you, and then you guys might live for a little while, but we're killing one of you. Only 1 unit making it up. That's a sting. The freaking Ember Drain. Thank you. Thank you, Weird Beehive. Weird Beehive hat for the win. Now we've got a big floor. You're dead. Ensnare you. Oh, things are looking nice. We have 120. We have 600 damage on the bottom floor now. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Five turns of Frostbite. We don't want to Flash Freeze again. That'd be silly. We'll smack you, and you know what? We'll Descend you and Daze you. Now that we have that card in the deck and we have nothing else to do with it, we should play it on the boss every single turn. You removed 1 stack of your days. You know what? Fair enough. You got me. I didn't anticipate that. Probably hit you with this. You were hit with the silence, so we're not going to be Ember Drain. So instead, I will save the tome, and I will play it when it doesn't matter. What happened to my Descend? I guess we just didn't draw it because we have too many cards in hand every turn? Must be. We do have 1,000 damage every turn, basically. This is what we wanted. We are still taking 149 damage, but and you have lifesteal, which is annoying. But we're doing 1,000 damage every turn with our animuses. That's good enough. And the champ is reducing the damage they take by 3 when they go under 100 health because of our animuses having more than 100 health. I just love the animuses. I think that's, like, everyone who plays this game loves the animuses. They're like the strongest unit in the whole game. Like, I would rather have an animus of will than, like, rare units in a lot of situations. I hate the damage shield, but if I get something that has spikes, or even a glimmer, we can purge a lot of that damage shield. Now, we did draw both animuses. Are we gonna wait for Channel Song? I think the answer is no. I think we're gonna play an animus to clean up, and then we'll descend it as soon as we can. I don't think it's worth waiting for the +20/+20. That's 20 spells. You know, we'll get there eventually. We just need the unit out immediately, I think. But we'll start here. Not just piercing damage. I mean, it's good. So only 1 unit is making it up. I think we will... You're gonna take 12 damage per turn. We draw 8 cards. Actually, I am thinking about it, and I'm like, maybe we can just stall on the Channel Song. It really does depend on when we draw it. If we draw it next turn, we're happy. So you know what? Let's make that card not useless. There you go, that's my thinking. And we got it. We got it immediately, which is great. And we will play it for 1. So we suffered no penalty. That's wonderful. You're gonna die. We need to build up spikes. Still not quite killing the Shade Wing, unfortunately, but not much we can do about that. You know, I do see that units are living and making it up. Just this unit right now, but still. Toss out a big heal. That's what the Animus is there for, hopefully, to clean up the trash. We got him down to 4 HP. That's pretty good. Animus is dying. Animus will not die. I think we'll actually maybe descend the Shadewing. He'll be dazed for 2 turns. There's probably also a better play in here somewhere. I mean, like a restoration detonation probably does it. And then we'll descend you next turn. Who are we gonna descend now? I don't know. I would really like to descend the Animus. I mean, we can just descend the Shadewing repeatedly for a couple of turns. 2 stings will kill this frontline unit. You don't do any damage when you die, so you're not even gonna hit the pyre. So it would be Restoring Retreat Animus, Glimmer. Everything down here should die, and then if we descend you next turn, you'll be stuck on a floor and I can just sting you later. I like that. We do need to keep... No, we want to Glimmer. Everything down here is dying, which is perfect. Big heal. Sting, you're dead next turn to a sting. We could also ensnare you, which I wasn't even really thinking about. Now you'll stick around. If we don't need to play the Tome. If we don't need to play the Tome, we should not play the Tome. You know, if the armor doesn't prevent us from killing everything, we should not play it. Save it for another turn, which we might need it to stop, you know, armor generation on someone else. I think I drew too many cards, so I didn't get a sting added to my hand, but it doesn't matter because we have a sting. You heal! It doesn't matter, we can still kill you, but I did not think about this properly. Doesn't matter, you're dead. $14 times 3. That's a lot of damage, but like, I'm pretty sure I can just kill you. I mean, I can kill you with a crit builder. So let's do that. Now I could also keep dazing the boss right now. I think I'd rather just keep the heals going on the champion. 2 healing cards per floor is pretty good per turn. I mean, it seems to be working. Everyone's dying. We'll keep the heals going. You going, definitely don't need the consume, but it does get it out of the deck. When we get to the end, when we get to, you know, waves remaining 0, this guy is gonna die. We got this in the bag, I think. We'll cycle of life, and we're buffing our health too as we go. Now you have Ember Drain. I would like to not be Ember Drain, so I'm gonna silence you. There we go, that's why you save it sometimes, I guess. I would very much like to, you know, have energy next turn. You sweep, but you don't do anything. You're gonna add garbage to my deck, but I can't silence you again. So we will just keep on keeping on. Might as well start dazing this guy. He is dazed for 2 turns now. Just did like 800 damage to him. I think we got it. I think we got it. I could probably be focusing a little bit more on like ideal play and making sure we don't kill units so they attack us and then we get revenge triggers, but I think we got it. I mean, this is the last turn. Boss is taking 600 damage. He's not gonna live through this turn. Well, he's not gonna live through the next turn. Oh, we're sapped. Sapped to crap. And he's dazed for 3 turns and taking about, 400. We got like 625 times 2. We got about 1,300 damage, roughly, because it's a little bit more than 625 roughly. So we got him. He's not even gonna have another chance to attack. What a freaking loser. Good run, honestly. I'm always wary about taking cultivation early because cultivation on your champion does very little early. You do need to have better damage dealers, even if it's units or spells. But we had good spells early, so I felt comfortable doing it. And there we go, we gilded a card. That'll make Disposable happy. Ding, thank you. Yeah, we started with a very good relic. A sting every turn just gives you that damage that you need to sustain yourself while you build up, you know, a train steward doing a little bit of damage, or even your sentient doing a little bit of damage. But then we got the perfect synergy, an Animus, a couple of multi-strikes, built up one big floor. We had 1,000 damage per turn behind a tank that had 200 HP. Good upgrades as well. Restoration, Detonation, Holdover, plus that plus 10 magic power and piercing is a great combination. Restoring Retreat on Holdover, we can use it as a daze thanks to the drop cage. Cycle of Life is a little bit cheaper. And that's the run, that's it. Probably did not need to take Channel Song, but I'm glad we did. It ended up being useful on that last fight. Good run, and for those of you on YouTube, thank you very much for watching. Like the video if you've enjoyed it, subscribe for more. Check me out on Twitch. For when I go live, support the channel at any of the links below in the video description, and I hope to see you here again for the next run of Monster Train.